All right, so Jay, switching focus to the NFL. On my Thursday show, I talked about the big trade that happened in the NFL. Actually, the two big trades that happened in regards to the NFL draft, where you had the San Francisco 49ers trading up to the number 3 spot with the Miami Dolphins, moving them back to 12. And then 20 minutes later, the Miami Dolphins moved back up to 6 in a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, who now moved back to 12 with some additional picks in there in order to work out the trade. So now that these trades have commenced, and that tells us a lot more about what the plans are, at least for this season, with the Dolphins and the Eagles, it makes you talk about their second-year quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins and Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, right? So now that we know those two are going to at least be given this season or part of this season, depending upon how they play, who do you think of the two will have the best season, given that they will not be replaced by a rookie quarterback that we assume that they're not going to draft high? We assume. Who's going to have the best season out of Hurts and Tua?
Woo, man. You got me here really pondering. So, looking at the landscape of the team setup, so obviously, number one, Tua wasn't as impressive as people expected. Felt like he's not. People feel like he's not going to get there, and that's no shade to him. Really, it's more so a display, of what he's actually done on the field. And then Jalen Hurts has impressed people more than expected and has moved up into the starting position after Carson Wentz got shipped out. So, to be quite honest, I think that Hurts is probably going to, because he's going into a situation where there's not really any doubts about him being the starting quarterback. Right now, Tua, the question is should he be the starter? Should he be out there? Hell, they're still trying to trade for, in theory, Deshaun Watson, even though everything that's going on with him, we don't know what's going to finalize with that. But yeah, I think that it's probably going to be, I'll give it to Jalen Hurts right now on the top of my head, because of the fact that it looks like he's going to actually get time to really, digest what's going on.
I think from what we saw last season, that Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback, the better NFL quarterback between the two. But I think Tua is going to have the better season.
Okay.
Because I think that the culture that Brian Flores has established has been entrenched the last 2 seasons. I think that he's got better receivers. He doesn't have a better running back, but he's probably better at tight end, especially if at 6 they end up drafting Kyle Pitts, who everybody is just salivating with what he can become. Pitts. And he's got the better defense. So it's because Tua has the better team around him that I think he's probably going to have the best season, as opposed to Jalen Hurts. And I could see Jalen in Philadelphia feeling like he has to be the savior, that he has to do too much, which can lead to spectacular moments, but can also lead to mistakes. Whereas Tua, I think, because they're going to mold him into a little bit more than a game manager, he knows that less will be expected of him, so he'll have a lot less to master, as opposed to what Jalen Hurts is going to try to do with his Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback position. So I say for those reasons that Tua is going to have the better season.
Yeah, well, I can see that. I guess for me, the thing with Hurts and the saving and the heroics or whatnot, he does a really good job of not getting hit, which that's something I appreciate. He does scramble a lot. I mean, hell, he ran for like 100 yards a couple of times when he got the start, and you can tell that he was doing everything in his power to not get hit. Like, he was focusing on not getting leveled, and Tua was taking some hits back there in the backfield like crazy or whatnot. And of course, we're fearful of him due to the issue with that hip that he got hurt in college. That's something that kind of puts an asterisk around him, that everyone's watching him because they don't know if he's going to be able to hold up. So Tua's kind of scary. I feel bad for him because he has already gotten the mark of shame, I guess you could say, around everyone in the league and those that are the analysts and everyone viewing it from the outside. They really don't think that he has capabilities of leading this team in the future, and feel like that he's going to end up being traded, or they're going to draft another quarterback. They're going to draft another quarterback and trade him. That's what everybody's seeing, and I think that for Tua, that's what's going to hurt him. Is because good catch. That's because of the doubt that's already been thrown out there about him. That, to me, makes it seem like his season's not going to go as good as expected.
Well, I think one advantage that Jalen Hurts does have, to your credit, is that he does have an offensive coach. Nobody knows really much about him or what he can be. Nick Sirianni, former OC of the Colts.
Yes.
So at least he does have an offensive coach, and that's not a knock against Brian Flores, not him in particular. It's kind of a knock against defensive head coaches in general, because you know that you really have to rely solely on your offensive coordinator and your quarterback's coach, that the head coach is not going to be able to add onto what you already know. Whereas Jalen Hurts is going to have 3 football minds between head coach, OC, and quarterback coach, helping him to do the best that he can on the field. So I do see that as one advantage, even though we don't know anything about this coach.
No, I agree with you. And because the Dolphins decided to go with the co-offensive coordinator setup, I mean, who's going to call the plays?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that to me, that to me makes it a little bit tougher. So the quarterback coach and the running back coach are going to be combined to do the job. And so we know that one's going to want to focus on their job, their position more than the other, just due to egos, men, machismo setup. Are they going to focus on having a heavy run offense? Are they going to try to go with a pass-heavy offense? We know they don't want to have a pass-heavy offense because they have Tua, and they want to make sure that he can be comfortable. And the best way to make a quarterback comfortable is having a good run game. So I feel like that's where they're going to focus. They're going to focus everything on the run game and make it to where Tua's not doing too much. Whereas in Philadelphia, you got Miles Sanders, and then you've got Jalen Hurts, and with Sanders has spent the last couple years off and on the injury report. So for that, it feels like it's going to be a focus on Hurts with a mixture of some run game. So yeah, I just feel like he's got more support right now in comparison.
I mean, like with the Eagles, who are their wide receivers? Like, it's hard to know who their wide receivers are, who their playmakers are. I know they had Jalen Reagor, who they drafted last season.
Yep.
They had a guy, Travis Fulgham, who came along. Alshon Jeffrey's gone. Zach Ertz. Aren't they trying to trade him, or is he gone yet?
No, he's there. They're not going to get rid of him. He's still on the roster. I mean, they're still paying him. I mean, they got Greg Ward.
Yeah. He's
No. Former quarterback. No. Okay. Now, I mean, Greg Ward's not bad, but he's not your elite wide receiver. That's the only thing about him. Now, can he get there? I don't know. They also got Khalil Tate, former quarterback from Arizona. So another quarterback playing wide receiver, undersized quarterback that didn't make it as a quarterback.
I mean, so maybe since they moved back to 12, they were obviously comfortable with that. Maybe they're expecting one of those top receivers to still be there. Because if you look in some mock drafts, they have Devontae Smith lasting to like 12, 14, 15, 16, which is somewhat absurd at surface level because he won the Heisman. But maybe they're expecting somebody like that. But they got to get some more. They got to get some more skill position players at that position. I'm sorry.
At 12 so far, it looks like the drop would be Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is not staying at 12.
That's no
chance of that.
CBS is mocking him to 12, and then Devontae Smith is at 13. To me, you take Devontae Smith. I like Pitts, but they got Ertz. Because Jamar Chase is probably going to go top, him and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
So,
which, the Dolphins would probably take one of those two guys. Let's say Kyle Pitts, because it would be the Falcons in front of them, then Cincinnati. So you could see either one of those teams taking him. But if he's still there, they would take him. But if not, they probably feel really comfortable with Jamar Chase and with Jalen Waddle. And there's another target for Tua, which is, again, on top of the targets he's already got with Devontae Parker and with Will Fuller on a one-year deal and with the Pro Bowl level tight end, Mike Gesicki. So he's set up beautifully in order to be successful this season, which I guess for Miami would mean making it to the playoffs.
And the other one, so I'm looking at Pro Football Focus just to see what they would have as far as a mock, and they got them picking J.C. Horn, and with Pitts and the Eagles. So with Pitts and Devontae Smith gone, along with all the other wide receivers,
so
they're going corner instead. Or actually, Jalen Waddle looks like he would still be available. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just take Waddle. But they've got them up there picking him. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see if the Dolphins – so our Dolphins are going to end up going quarterback. Same thing with the Eagles. But your 49ers, you talked about it with the Trey Lance piece.
Yes.
I mean, Pro Football Focus has them taking Justin Fields, which is a interesting
I like
decision.
Trey Lance. I like his take better. I think his ceiling is higher than Justin Fields. But I do like Justin Fields. I would be satisfied with that. Just speaking from a fan's perspective.
Right.
But
and that's actually what I wanted from you was your fan perspective.
My fan perspective is, like I said, when this trade went down, I said Trey Lance has to be the guy because he looks like Kaepernick, but he can make some throws like Mahomes. Not as good as Mahomes because who can do that?
Right.
But I see both of those in him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers can make some Mahomes throws.
Josh Allen made some of those throws.
Josh Allen. So very few can make those kind of throws. That's what I see in him. So that's what is getting the 49ers fan base so excited is the possibility of having this style of player in a Kyle Shanahan offense.
Ooh, yeah, that will be. I'd be interested in seeing him or Justin Fields in a Shanahan offense.
I'd be fine with that. Who I do not want to see, who this better not be for, and this is what I said, this better not be for Mac Jones. It better not be for
someone that is guaranteed to be down there at 12. Yes. Yeah, that makes no sense to trade up to get a guy that's obviously going to be available based upon every other mock draft in the world.
My thought was, okay, if they wanted Mac Jones, they wouldn't have to move up to 3. Move up to, if you just aren't quite sure he's going to be there at 12, move up to 8, move up to 9, but not all the way up to 3. So not only do you do that for one of these two quarterbacks, Fields or Lance, but you already know which one you want.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, now the funny part would be is if what if the Jets pivoted left and got one of those two, leaving Zach Wilson out there in the remaining one? Then what would the 49ers do? I don't know.
That is a good question. Zach Wilson obviously is going to go to the Jets, which I'm going to be quite honest here. It makes absolutely no sense for the Jets to not keep Sam Darnold. I feel like Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson are the same guy. The difference is that Sam Darnold was tarnished by Adam Gase.
Yes.
And I think that Sam Darnold's going to last in the NFL for some years, and I think he'll be just fine. It's like as I was talking about with my opening rant, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not going to a new environment. He's going back to the exact same old environment he's used to because he gets Frank Reich back, which is who made him as great as he was in Philadelphia. So I don't think that he's going to be. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll get back. I don't think he's going to be the old Carson Wentz because I think that he is damaged goods mentally, but I think that he will be a NFL quarterback. Just probably not as dynamic as he was before. Because those injuries get you in the head as well as just playing as bad as he did. You start doubting yourself. You start asking those questions.
True.
Is it true? He's going to get back to a good spot, but yeah, I don't think that Sam Darnold is in a situation is as bad as we're trying to make him. I actually was a little bit more impressed with him playing. He turns the ball over too much, but I mean, a lot of the young guys do that.
So you see them keeping Darnold, drafting Wilson, letting Darnold start the season, and then from there seeing what you have,
or trading out of the number 2 pick, get a couple more a couple more picks over the next couple of years, and go get some wide receivers.
They can't do that. They can't do that and face the Jets fan base because especially if, let's say, whoever they trade out with it to, whoever it may be, gets Zach Wilson and he's a stud, they'll never be able to forgive the organization for doing that to them.
But what if Sam Darnold turns to a stud this year because he has a new coaching staff?
I mean, that's possible. That's possible. But you give yourself both options.
So you want to have both options just so you can have him looking over his shoulder the entire time and then basically wreck his entire...
Yes, because that may exactly be what the 49ers are going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo, making him look over his shoulder. And generally when quarterbacks do that, they tend to play a little bit better. Look at Aaron Rodgers, right? People thought that he was regressing.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he might have forgotten who he was in that first year in Mike LaFleur's offense. But that second year when they drafted Love, he said, okay, I'll show you. And then you see what he did. MVP level season.
But Aaron Rodgers never regressed. He was having
that's
a
what
great
people
year.
were saying. That's what was in the media. That's what people
No,
were
the
saying.
media was saying it because he's 37 years old, rightfully so. But he was
the year
still...
too old. That's what I'm saying. The year too old narrative.
But he was still
fought against
flicking
that.
them out there at 4,000 yards a season. I mean, this year he did throw 70% clip, but
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. Ridiculous.